What up, y'all? DJ SoOpA here. I'm about to show y'all a video how to make and build this mobile DJ TV facade. I'll show you everything you need and all the steps to build this and take it on your next gig.
So once you get this started, I definitely suggest figuring out your measurements based on the TV you're going to want to use. I'm doing a 43-inch television, so I bought the TV first. That was my first step, and I made these measurements per the TV. So I made those cuts and lengths exactly what they need to be to only show monitor and have the actual bezel of the TV press up against the wood. So this was the first step to get all the pieces cut. These are all cut loose, just sitting in my driveway, and I'm just taking a moment to look over and make sure they look good. I am missing two pieces that would go down the middle to really make your 4 panels. You'll see those pieces come up next when they're all assembled together. But yeah, once you get your pieces cut, next step is going to be screw them together. So what I'm showing you here in this next clip is actually the pieces already screwed together. You see the 4 completed panels. I used pocket screws. You know, you could use brackets, you could use dowel pins, whatever you want to go with. Just to limit my material cost, I went with the pocket screws because all you do is obviously screw the screws on the side, or the holes on the side, and then you just pop your screws in. Supported that also with wood glue between each piece. So that's what I did there. In this next step, I am painting each panel black. Just throwing a quick coat of spray paint over it. It's not really something I intend to be shown in the final product because at the end of the day I wrap it all up in felt tape, so you're not going to really see any of this paint. The only reason I do it is just in case, you know, some cracks come through, or maybe I have some seams that aren't perfect with felt tape. And also the backing, it just makes it look a little cleaner without having, you know, I just didn't want natural wood color showing, so that's why I paint it in this next step.
So the next thing I'm going to do is work on getting these hinges put in place. Hinges centered, pieces are aligned. That'll work. So those went on nicely. That's how they look. Put it up against each other. They see it bends out like that. Very nice. When you open it, I'm not moving it much because I'm got it up here on the table so I can put these hinges on for the outside panels. Gonna be like that. Got 2 of those each side. Hopefully that'll be enough. But yeah, I'll put that on twice. No fabric yet. No felt tape around the frame yet. But she's standing and all hinged up. Now we are wrapping it. There we go. This is some felt tape. I think it's 4-inch. Got it on Amazon. Nice big roll of it. Works out perfect because it's just enough to wrap around this set from edge to edge of visible side. I already got this one here done. This top bar. I made a nice little relief cut right there. It bends nicely. Pressed it flat against here, and it's looking good. It's hard to see because it's dark out, but I promise you it looks a lot better than wood. So now I'm going to kind of show you how I put this piece on. Get all the backing off. Trying to get it nice and tight because if you apply this loosely, you will get bubbles and wrinkles when you go to push it all on every bit of surface area. Here we go, got a nice little bit hanging off there. Get that pressed on real good. Some scissors and cut me a nice straight line here to the corner. Might have been easier with an X-Acto knife. we go. Pull that flap down. Pull this down nice and tight. And square. The square is important because if you don't get that square, at least eyeball, you're going to have wrinkles along the way as you go pressing things. And just wrap, give that a nice wrap around there. Kind of tighten as you go, flatten out as you go. I'm going to have some bare spots anyway I cut this, so I'll probably go back and just touch up with little puzzle pieces, do it that way. But the least I can do is make the bare spot on the dark little side there. Pull that, wrap that around, so now we're getting a nice finish as we go. I'm feeling little bubbles come up here, so I'm trying to work them down because they're wanting to form in this corner, so I'm just kind of working them out as I go. There's a little, I don't know if you can see that, it's a bubble there. I push it out as I go.
Something I wanted to do before I go any further with the felt tape wrapping is actually look at the position of the TV, where it's going to be mounted, and get my measurements and be prepared to drill my holes for any kind of mounting brackets I may have to put on. So that's what that looks like here in this view. Alright, next thing I'm going to do is attach a little lower shelf to bear the weight of the TV. I'm going to put it here roughly, it's not screwed on yet. My intention is for the TV to have its most load on the middle where there's actually, support below it, rather than put them on the corners. I don't want to put extra weight on these corners because, it's just floating there. So I really want to put the bulk of the weight of the TV right there. So I think that'll work well because obviously that's going to be right into the ground, and there's no reason why a little 15-pound TV should break that. So that's my intent. I'm going to attach those now. I got some measurements I made up here. Basically, the conclusion is I need to bring it up 1 3/4 inches from the bottom. So I'm going to measure out 1 3/4 inches from here, and that'll leave exactly how much I intended to have to hide the bezel of the TV and just show screen. Okay, the bottom TV shelf is now mounted. My original plan, I had to alter it a little bit. I had hoped to have 2 of these, but by the time I got it where it needed to be for the TV, it was too low to be able to use that. So, but 1 is better than none, and I do have wood glue under there and some pretty thick screws in 2 places. I mean, that sucker ain't going nowhere. So that's going to hold the weight of the TV and distribute it here in the middle where we actually have some support vertically. All right, I like to think the TV mounting apparatus is basically finished. There's that bottom shelf we made before. And now we have this little thing, which I kind of figured out as I went along. Originally I planned to make a latch that swung, and as I was messing with the wood here, by the time I got it to this level I needed it to be, it kind of slides in right where there's a taper in the TV and just snugs right nicely up against it if you get the right distance. So I'm thinking, man, it'd be cool if I can just slide this in and out and tighten it with a nut. And it can't swing on that pivot because the TV stops it. And that TV is in the facade. I'm going ahead and putting some wood filler in the bolt holes. So that'll be nice. I've already got that one over there. And it just comes in a jar like that. That works. Nothing special. I just picked some. I picked the first one I saw. These are the last bits I need to wrap. I just sanded it, my wood filling, where it's holding the other side of that bolt. So I had to drill through that. Now it's sanded, so when I wrap it, it won't look all crazy and lumpy. It'll look basically flat. All right, all the felt tape is wrapped. I got this thing laying face down, and I've got my stretchy white fabric over it. Over at Jones, whatever it's called, they didn't know what I was talking about when I said lycra or whatever. But I found this polyester cotton blend that's nice and stretchy and a nice bright white. Looks just like every other scrim I've ever used, so I'm going to use this stuff. I think it'll do the trick. I'm going to stretch it and staple it, and hopefully it'll be good to go. This is 3 yards worth, which is more than enough. This isn't even stretched out yet, and it's already covering the whole thing, so I'm going to be okay. Alright, so I just put the final piece of fabric on. If I were to do this over again, I might
put the fabric on before I put the TV mounting stuff, because this made it a challenge, really getting it tight around here. And I had to stretch the fabric out a little more than I would have liked to. It's stretched pretty good here, so I mean, I can actually see through it already. If you're doing this and you have a big table you could do it on, I recommend that, because my back is killing me. I had to go to bed after doing the 3 panels, and I was like, I'll just come back and do this one in the morning. So here we are in the morning. I have a wedding actually that I'm going to in 3 hours, and that's one reason I've been prioritizing getting this done. I want to take it to the wedding and try it out. But so I'm just cutting it nice and close to the staples, not too close. I don't want it to get so close that it, you know, rips, because it doesn't have enough fabric to grip to. But you also have to get close enough that it doesn't wrinkle and flap over. So there's a balancing act there. Just cut this way. All right, next we're gonna put in these leveling glides. The way they work is you drill a hole where you want it. Oops, pilot hole, or whatever you call it. The instructions on the back of this call for a 3/8. I'm gonna do a, whatever that is first, 1/4 inch, I think that's what it is. Smaller one first. And then what you'll do is put this little bad boy in there. Cut my thumb earlier. The little plastic piece hammers in there, and you got to make sure you go at least as deep as those threads. So that's about an inch, inch and a half, something like that. So this is the bottom of my facade. There we go. Wipe away the excess with your thumb napkin. So stick a fork in her, she's done. There she is, all folded up. All the foot pegs are on there, so now the leveling is completely adjustable. Those are all my wood chips on the floor, because that's just too hot and humid to work outside. But that's what vacuums are for. But yeah, you push it together. I'm doing this with one hand, a little bit tough. There we go. So there's that, all hooked up. And that's how it looks all folded. There's the bulging wood. I sanded it down on the corners so it's nice and soft on the outside, so hopefully it'll never puncture or punch anything. The worst part here, I guess, is that nut. So that's basically it. That's how you build you one of these. If you have any suggestions or comments, be sure to mention them below. I'd love to hear constructive criticism. If you have any things you would have done differently, I'd love to hear it. If you build one of these yourself, I'd love to hear about it. I'd love to hear how it went. If there was any other information I could have given, let me know that too. And I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. This has been a DJ SoOpA build. Peace.